Right, this is Linton the Swarm Vassal, Bellator light heavyweight contender, and you're watching the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show.
Hey Cryptos, fight fans, it's Gregory Stoney watching the Crypt Fighting Talk Show. We have Venator 3 this past weekend just gone. May and Miller got choked out. Meek's a star, and Sokoudjou picked up a cracking knockout victory over tough 3 veteran and UFC veteran Matt the Hamill. Meek, I want to talk about him quickly. I'd love to see him go to the UFC or Cage Warriors. I don't want to see him go to Bellator World Series of Fighting. They're more drama promotions, looking for the story, looking for the name. I find Cage Warriors and I find the UFC more about rankings and who's the better fighter. And I believe Meek looks like a very hot prospect, powerful, very good hands, very light on the feet, quick foot movement, and very powerful with Jiu-Jitsu. Gauging the distance there, Palares managed to show some quick foot movement, stepping off and avoid the ankle pick. And smashed him with some powerful hammer fist, which put him out good. The only person who's put out Polaris before is, I believe, Hector Lombard. Dan Henderson couldn't do it. I think he knocked him down a couple of times. But not many people have put Polaris away. Big, strong guy. So you can tell Meek's in some good shape. So I'd definitely like to see him in maybe a warm-up. If you don't get a UFC, maybe a warm-up in Cage Warriors. You know, Bama's more about the drama, about the big names. Obviously, they had a cracking fight last weekend, too, or the weekend before, so I believe, with DKZ and Musa. But anyway, let's get to the point at Andy. Matt Hamill, he's been making a lot of accusations recently in regards to Sokoudjou loading his gloves with some kind of dense substance and using it to gain advantage and more knockout power in the fight. Obviously, Sokoudjou knocked him out. He threw the overhand right combination followed by a left hook, and then obviously played him with the two uppercuts there. I certainly think that Sokoudjou set him up with that combination very nicely, mixing things up pretty well there. He threw a nice roundhouse to the body, and obviously just to make Matt Hamill guess, and then threw the overhand right with the backhand with the power hand first, which I always find Beck Rollins does this. She always kicks off a combination with the backhand. I really think it throws fighters off. They don't know what to expect. Especially at that range as well. You don't really expect it. You know, maybe when you're in the pocket or something, you're going to throw the power arm first. It's not maybe mid-range, but once you're at a range like that, it's I find it throws opponents off. Obviously, he threw the overhand with the intent to get Matt Hamill to back off, and but Matt Hamill angled and backed off pretty nicely. He backed it away. But what he did was he angled off to the left, and the left hook, which was thrown with some intent to knock him out. Sokoudjou followed it with a left hook, vicious left hook, which just skimmed Matt Hamill. He managed to sort of slip it, sort of like roll back out of the way. I think he was sort of going back anyway. I don't think that was intentional, to be honest with you. I think that slip was sort of just as the punch was skimming his face. And obviously he was flat-footed against Cage after that. He couldn't slip anything, he couldn't sidestep or anything. He was just totally flat back against the cage, and he had no choice but to beat those uppercuts. I mean, he could have covered up, but it's all good and well saying it in slow motion time. But when you got Sokoudjou backing up like that with those vicious combinations and the speed of them, it's not a lot you can do. So props there, congratulations, a wicked combination to finish off the fight against Matt Hamill and give him his first knockout loss of his career, which was really impressive. So massive win for Sokoudjou, much needed after he was brutally destroyed by Linton Vassell. I was sort of thinking that he was done in the big promotions there, because Linton really made it look pretty easy, and he had never lost after that, so I believe. So I was sort of expecting not to see Sokoudjou ever again in the big promotions, but a decent one there against Matt Hamill was was much needed. It's the fight game for you. You can be up 1 minute, you can be down the next, so you never know. But also when fighters start on these big losing skids, it's not very good. And Sokoudjou, he's always been an entertaining fighter, an exciting fighter. He's always explosive, powerful. You know he can finish fight any second. Same with Melvin Manoff. Melvin Manoff suffered so many losses, and he still gets used to this day by big promotions. Still a draw and attraction. So it's good to see him get back on track there. But anyway, Matt Hamill, he's been making all these kind of accusations. He's been loaded that Sokoudjou loaded his gloves, and there was some strange things going on at come fight night in regards to the gloves. Now, what it was in the contracts that if the fighters, well, it's mandatory actually in the contract that fighters had to bring their own gloves just in case the Adidas gloves that Venator had did not fit the fighters. So Sokoudjou was okay bringing his own gloves there, but the problem was Sokoudjou was an extra large and didn't have any extra large gloves, which is the promotion's fault. To be honest with you, that's not nothing to do with Sokoudjou. That's the promotion's fault there. They should have sizes to fit all. To be fair, unless you like some weird Brock Lesnar size of Shane Carroll, you got these fucking XXL gorilla hands. There's not a lot the fighter can do. To be fair, he bought his gloves and he wore them that night. Now, this is a very serious accusation by Matt Hamill, so he has a right to make these accusations, but it's the promotion's job to really investigate this. And if Matt Hamill felt it that night and he said something, they should have inspected the gloves there and then. I'm not even sure the gloves got inspected, but it seems like a lot of things were missed here, in my opinion. But what I want to start with is Matt Hamill. My apologies, 1 second. Gorilla beating the chest there. Right. Matt Hamill, he's been mouthing off. So what I did, I sent him a message because he's mouthing off about a few things. He's hungry for a fight. He wants to fight. He's been offering out loads of people. Vinny Magalhaes, he wants a rematch against Vinny Magalhaes. Obviously, he suffered an armbar loss there, I believe it was, in World Series fighting. So Vinny Magalhaes piped up and said, don't be a sore loser and show some respect in the loss, basically. Matt Hamill didn't take that too kindly. He offered him out for a fight. Who else was there? Jake Heon, World Series fighting guy. Matt Hamill's offered him out. And Matt Hamill even offered out another guy who I'd never even heard of, saying, what promotion, what rank you with? He just wants to fight and he's offering people out. So I asked Matt Hamill, I said, with you wanting to fight as soon as possible, and obviously he wants Sokoudjou as well, he wants Sokoudjou in a rematch. With you wanting to fight as soon as possible, are you concerned that no doctors will let you fight? We be commissioned to fight in the next 3 months or so, because obviously you want to fight as soon as possible. You're looking to fight maybe in the next 8 weeks. You don't want to be waiting 3 months before you can even train. So, or even fight. Obviously, it's going to be training. Doctors can't really stop you behind closed doors. They can stop you fighting the commissions, but they can't stop you training behind closed doors. So anyway, I asked him that. Would you be worried that you won't be allowed to fight for 3 months? And the other thing is, do you still believe that Sokoudjou loaded his gloves after the president released his statement, the Venator president, that is. Once the Venator president released his statement on Twitter, Matt Hamill retweeted it. So I figured Matt Hamill might have calmed off on the situation of accusing Sokoudjou of loading his gloves. But this was Matt Hamill's response, and he wasn't too kind towards Sokoudjou. So here's Matt Hamill's tweet to me. There's no doctor to check up in Italy after the fight. That's in regards to obviously Matt fighting again and obviously potentially being stopped once again. Which is, I don't like him saying that, to be honest with you. These rules are in place for a reason, to protect the fighter. And Matt suffered, he was knocked out for a brief second or two. If you looked at his eyes, he should take that very serious, but each to their own, I suppose. He's very hungry at the minute. So he continued, I fought a lot of good fighters. I have an iron chin. You be the judge. I don't think anyone's disregarding his chin, but there's no shame in getting knocked out by Sokoudjou. Matt Hamill continued, I could tell that something wasn't right after I got hit. Yeah, Sokoudjou punched you. That kind of junk can get somebody seriously hurt. And at the very least, change the outcome of the fight. My sport is my livelihood. Something like that is stealing. Remember, all fighters, including me, wore black Adidas gloves, but my opponent wore his own white gloves. I already addressed that one. There's no issue with Sokoudjou wearing the white gloves. The issue is, did he tamper with them and put anything in there, or one of his team? So let's move on to what the president had to say. About the Sokoudjou strange gloves and the missing tape. This was his big long statement. He put my bad English form since I'm in a real hurry. Obviously the guy's Italian, so I will just be quoting what he said. So if it didn't make sense, that's due to his typo and not me reading it wrong. The problems are in order. Number one, Soko has old episode of loaded gloves. I want to read up on that for you guys, actually. Apparently, Sokoudjou has been accused of loading his gloves before, and it was actually true. But I want to check up on that. Number two, the gloves were not Adidas. That's fine. It doesn't have to be Adidas. It was good. It was checked over by the referees and deemed good enough. The gloves were not taped until the cage. Okay. First of all, let me remind you how much I feel blessed and honoured to have Matt Hamill at Venator, full stop. So I'd never let something strange happen to him during an event that I organise. Not now, nor in the future. But of course, the situation seems a little strange. So that's the point. Number one, Adidas hasn't the XXL size, so in the contracts we have as mandatory for so in the contract we have as mandatory for the fighters to bring with them a pair of gloves they can use just in case they can't fit into the Adidas gloves for any reason. Sokoudjou came with his gloves as we requested, and the officials checked them, and since they were regular and okay, they confiscated them personally until the moment of the hand wrapping. That all seems legit and fair enough. The gloves were okay, deemed okay by officials, and there's nothing seemed wrong there. If it was tampered with or loaded, I'm sure the officials would have noticed there and then. There's a big difference between powder, cement, sand, whatever's in there. Plaster's even been in there before. There's a big difference between that and a bit of padding and fluff. So the officials deemed it was okay, so all above board there, rightly done by officials and promotion. Let's move on to the second point here, number two. The hands of Sokoudjou were wrapped and sealed regularly, but the cutman who had his gloves left them thought an error into his room, so he had to run to take them. Okay, so it looks like the cutman who's confiscated the gloves, obviously, up until hand wrapping time, left them in his own locker room, and he had to run and go and get them. So the gloves were taken from Sokoudjou's bag, basically, by the officials. They checked them over, they deemed them okay. There's fluff in there, not sand, not cement. The cutman took them, he kept them in his locker room, not Sokoudjou's locker room, he kept them in his own locker room until fight night. He accidentally left them there when he went to wrap his hands, Sokoudjou's hands, but not wrap his hands, sorry. Yeah, wrap his hands. And this is the point where it gets strange here. I'm trying to make sense of it. I don't know if it's the bad English or whatnot, but he goes on to say, we were on television, the schedule was really strict, so the TV director launched the Sokoudjou song. The first cutman brought Sokoudjou near the entrance and left him in the end of the second cutman that was bringing the gloves. The second cutman put the gloves on Sokoudjou, but for the emotion and the hurry, forgot to tape and seal them. So they're telling me, he's telling everyone that they only started putting the gloves on and basically taping the gloves as he was about to walk out, and they only wrapped him like literally right before his music hit. That seems a little strange to me. In an escalation of hurry, difficult to communicate in English, embarrassment and emotion, the second cutman let Sokoudjou do the walkout. It was just emotion, a bit of confusion and inexperience. So Sokoudjou walked straight to the cage where ref Neil Hall and Bob Plant were waiting for him. Neil Hall's a good referee in the UK. He's got a good reputation in the UK, so I really don't see him doing anything iffy with the gloves, personally. He's not exactly better buds with Sokoudjou or anything, unless he's obviously gambling on a fight. But Sokoudjou would know if his gloves were loaded anyway, for fuck's sake, come on. We were on television, the schedule was really strict, so the TV just, yeah, that's why we had that bit. Here we go. They stopped him, sent a third cutman to take the needed tape, double checked everything, from the hands, the bandage, the gloves again, and sealed for good. So they double checked at the cage side, deemed it was all okay. I don't think anybody could doubt about two professionals like they are. Right, so if all the weird, crazy confusion there with, jeez, what the heck? So they was wrapping the gloves just before they wrapped his hands just before he went out, right before his music hit. That's the way it looks here. Then they didn't put the gloves on him until he reached basically the entrance ramp, where you're backstage, where you're about to go out to the entrance ramp, and basically call it the curtain in pro wrestling terms. So they didn't put the gloves on, or tried to attempt to put the gloves on until he reached the curtain area, which is absolutely crazy. Anyway, they got him out to the cage. Everything was electric and motion running wild, but apparently his gloves were checked over and deemed okay. So Matt Hamill said that he felt it was different when he got hit with the glove. Is that because Sokoudjou just fucking hits like a fucking absolute animal? The gloves over time, maybe washing them, etc., using them, does that make them harder in any way? Who knows? It's a strange one, but I suppose the bottom line is what you can really go off here is the fact is 2 experienced referees here check the gloves, or at least one experienced referee with a good reputation. I'm not too sure it's Bob Plant, but the Venator president seems to think that this guy's got a good reputation too. They check the gloves and deem him okay, and I don't think you can really say much more than that. Obviously, Matt can come out and say what he feels like. He obviously feels like something was obviously untowards there and something wasn't right. Me personally, I think it was the fact that he just got hit by Sokoudjou, and Matt Hamill can't complain about different gloves because that was mandatory for all fighters. I'm sure Matt Hamill took his own gloves. I should have asked him if he took his own gloves. That was in the contract for him to do so in case their gloves didn't fit. So Sokoudjou's done no wrong, from what I can tell. He took the gloves there. They was took straight off him. In regards to Sokoudjou, let's look at it from Sokoudjou's standpoint here. He took the gloves. Their Adidas gloves didn't fit him. Venator's Adidas gloves didn't fit him. So he pulled out his own gloves out of his bag. They was checked over, confiscated from him, until he went to basically walk out, and they was putting him cage side, and he was taped up there, and then they checked everything and thought it was okay, and then he went and fought and won. Well, what more can he really do? He's been very quiet on the subject as well. I mean, is that guilt, or he doesn't really want to rise to it? You know, he's done all he's done. See, it's not my place to call anyone lie or anything, but looking at the facts are the facts. The referee did the job, and there you go. What more can you do? Let me slide this back over here instead of in the corner. Right, so, yeah. Matt Hamill can pretty much say what he wants to say, but there's not a lot that's going to get changed there. There's going to be no one getting involved, and even the commission, who the fuck's even going to overturn it anyway? He said there's no doctors in Italy to stop him from fighting again. So who the fuck's going to really overturn a fucking loaded glove? Or potential loaded glove? No one's going to fucking do it. But Matt Hamill's pissed. He wants to fight again and fight soon, so he's offering anybody out. So if there's any pro fighters watching this and you fight light heavyweight, or you're willing to step up to light heavyweight and fight Matt Hamill, I'll get contacting him. He's trying to make fights himself here. He's contacting promoters, he's contacting matchmakers, the lot. Matt Hamill's hungry and he's ready to fight. He's not happy about his knockout loss, but yeah, Sokoudjou, he's no guilty party in my eyes here. I'm not too sure on you cryptors, but comment below and let me know what you guys think about it, to be honest with you. But Matt Hamill's rooting for a fight, so any pro fighters, go straight to Matt Hamill on Twitter and looks like you got yourself a fight there, guys. But from today's show, cryptors, go and check out midcrypt.com. As always, guys, give a big shout out there to the boys over at the Crypts, Mick, Tommy, Matt Teal, Greg Marshall. Jeez, I hope I don't forget anybody there. Go and check things out there, guys. Go and comment. They've been debating this subject on there. Go and play some fantasy games, etc. And yeah, that's pretty much it, cryptors. I want to dig down and get the answers to this, and I believe I have done for today's show. And I say Sokoudjou's not guilty. Matt Hamill's going to be thumbs down in this video. And speaking about the thumbs down, right, we got some ready alligators out there. Hey, seems to be disliking my shit. Hey, unhappy hillbillies. Yeah. Chill out, unhappy hillbillies. It's just a joke, okay? Read the sign in the corner, okay? These are my views only. My views are just a bit of a joke, okay? Stop taking things so serious, alright? But from today's show, cryptos, fight fans, like, subscribe, share, if you haven't already. And thank you for watching.